Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming, and some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Remember the Flowers. So y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? It was kind of a massive reveal in the last episode, and we're continuing on with that. So y'all, strap your butts in, sit back and enjoy, and let me entertain you. Let's jump right in. Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Let's jump right back on this crazy train. Anyway, then it all becomes clear. My thoughts come to a standstill. I don't see anything or feel anything anymore. Am I starting to wake up? Was it all a bad dream? Oh, I see some spots on my screen. Let me grab those, get those spots. Get out of the way, spots. Okay. I chuckle. No, I've been awake. I just didn't want to admit it. I wanted to keep believing there was a chance I could go back, no matter how delusional it might have been. I'm starting to hear the quiet ambience of the room again. The whirring of a fan that's out of sight. The sound of a clock ticking. It's a struggle to open my eyes. My breathing has calmed down, but I'm sweating a decent amount. Oh, excuse me. Vita snaps me back to the present. Do you need a minute? It feels weird to talk, like I've been asleep for so long that I don't know how to. Although I guess that's not entirely inaccurate. I'll be fine. Could I ask for a towel to wipe myself off with, though? Vita nods before going to retrieve one. I stare at my hands for a moment. Am I really out of there? Out of that tank? Out of that hell? Vita comes to place a slightly damp towel in my open hands. You look exhausted. Should I take that as a sign that you've remembered something? More than you know. I wipe the cool towel across my forehead, enjoying the sensation. I think it's all back, more or less. That gets Vita's eyes to widen. Are you serious? I nod as I calmly retrieve my tea. Yeah. I am. It's a bit jumbled, but I bet if you ask me something, I'll be able to answer it. Let's take it slow for a moment. As eager as I am to learn more, my duties as a doctor come first. You're psychologically spent. Is that a problem? Yes. What kind of question is that? I swirl the tea in my cup. I don't feel anything right now. I don't think it'll be that bad. That's the problem, Cyrus. We'll take a 20-minute breather. I've been around this long. I can last 20 more minutes, I guess. Morbid sense of humor you've got there. You learn to make yourself laugh. Vita's on the other side of the room, writing stuff down. I've taken the liberty of filling up my cup of tea while I wait. I can see my tired expression reflected in the murky liquid. More memories start trickling back into my head. Maybe that's not the right way to phrase it. It's like they were always there, but something was blocking them. It's almost like sifting through your attic after a long time. Everything's always been there, even if you've forgotten it. Vita eventually comes back to sit across from me. How are you feeling, Cyrus? Honestly, not too sure. Still trying to process everything. That doesn't surprise me. I lean back to look at the ceiling. This doesn't feel real, but at the same time it feels natural. Do you remember your experiences over the last week? More or less. Honestly, that's what feels like the dream. Vita flipped through their notes. You've been using a dormant personality state for an extended period of time. That was you, but also wasn't you. You'll probably be disoriented after a while. I recommend you write stuff down as you remember them. Speaking of, I take it you're an old soul, too? Meaning? You were in Resume for a while, weren't you? Yes, I was. About 50 years. Why? Just curious, you're using a pencil and paper even though you have an axiom. Vita chuckles. That's what clued you in. Not the mechanical throat replacement or prominent scars. I shrug. The hyena had a mechanical arm, but I didn't think she was from Resume. I see. You've got a keen eye. Hey, come on, show a little respect to your elders. We'll see about that. Vita continues to scribble in their notebook. Well, I'm glad to see you're still in one piece after all that. You're quite remarkable, I have to admit. That right? I don't feel anything like I'm anything special. I don't really feel anything at all. I've been working here for a while now, and dealt with at least a dozen similar cases. Alright, y'all, let me drink some water. Delicious water. It's a 50-50 whether or not people can live normally afterward. Surprised the odds are that good. I assume the other half just go insane? Yes, pretty much. Sounds about right. Vita narrows her eyes at me. Are you sure you're feeling alright? You're taking all of this a little too well. I mean, like I said, I don't feel anything in particular. Nothing at all. If you say so. I'm just curious. It already seems like your two personalities are melding together. I shrug. I think it's more like I booted up an old save state, then reloaded the current one. I have no idea what you're talking about. Stuff having to do with long-gone technology. Well, at least you'll have something to talk to Aaron about. I've been told he has a fascination with old tech. Aaron, huh? The tiger who broke me out. Is there a problem? I'm not sure. I'm just thinking. I swirl the tea for a moment before taking another sip of it. Aaron did keep me in the dark for a while, huh? Do you mind letting him in? I want to talk to him. If that's what you want. I nod. Vita gets up from their chair and heads towards the door. I hear an electronic beep before the door slides open, causing a certain tiger to nearly fall flat on his face. Hey, warn me next time! What happened to your cat-like reflexes? You caught me off guard! Aaron huffs at Vita and then starts to get into another verbal altercation with the doctor. I look him over. This is the man, huh? He catches me staring at him and immediately freezes. He looks frightened. I motion for him to come over. He looks hesitant, but he slowly makes his way over to me after a moment. Hey, Cyrus. Is it going well? It's going. Come on, sit with me for a sec. I pat the free space on the patient bed. Aaron continues moving slowly before finally sitting down next to me. I take another sip of tea before placing it down, sitting in silence. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Aaron shake ever so slightly. His fur is slightly raised, too. I can hear his tail swishing behind us on the bed. We sit like this for a while longer. Aaron jumps when I break the silence. So, Aaron? Yes? I mean... He coughs into his hand. Yeah, what is it, Cyrus? You've known about this all along, haven't you? Aaron doesn't reply. He looks too scared to. You knew that there was no way for me to get back home. Well, not without a time machine or something stupid like that. I remember the other day when you were asking me about Damien. What he's like, or rather what he was like. I shake my head. Man, how dumb was I? I look over at the tiger. You were scared to tell me, weren't you? I'm not surprised. It's quite a bombshell to drop on someone. Still, you wanted to keep me in the dark for as long as you could. That's... all of you were keeping this from me. You know what, Aaron? Aaron's chattering teeth are all the response I get. So I take it upon myself to keep the conversation going. I reach my hand out to him, which makes him reflexively pull back and shut his eyes. I gently pick up his tense paw, stroking the back of it. Yep. Still soft. He starts to calm down a little and peeks an open eye. Aaron, thank you. Huh? You want to protect me from myself for as long as you could, even if it meant lying to me. Aaron bites his quivering lip. I hold his paw with both hands. I'm hoping I can comfort him, if just a little bit. I think I'm still remembering how to do that. You can't go home. I know. If we just got you out of here, you wouldn't have needed to remember. I know. Everything you've ever known. Gone. I know. I pull him closer so that I can get a better look at his face. Thank you, Aaron. You let me live in a fantasy long enough to enjoy myself. Even with most of my memories back, I can't think of the last time I felt so free. I was happy with you these past few days. I hope you know that. Aaron starts to shake as tears spill over. Aaron surprises me as he lifts his other paw to hold my cheek. 1 second, y'all. Water time. Even though Aaron's given some water of his own. It's hard to believe you when you have that sad look on your face. Aaron's paw trembles against my skin. I try to give him a soft smile. Well, part of me did just die. It's hard not to feel a little sad, I guess. Cyrus! I pull him down close, hugging his face into my chest and trying to stroke his back to ease his pain. I can feel his tears soak through my sweater. We don't say anything for a while. I just keep him close. I try to stifle a laugh. Shouldn't it be the other way around? Shouldn't he be comforting me? Aw, man. Aww. Aaron's a good boy. Aaron is a very good boy. Sorry you notice these little spots on my screen. Get these spots off my screen! Ah, okay, I'm getting them off. 1 second, y'all. Need to take a damn wipe to my screen and just... yeah. Should get like a microfiber cloth or something and just... wipe it off. Anyway. Eventually I asked Vita for another pot of tea. I think we could all use something to help us relax. When Aaron does eventually pull away, he's still wiping tears off of his cheeks. Sorry, I shouldn't have gotten so carried away. Vita places a tray full of cups on their desk before handing each of us one. This is precisely why I didn't want you in here. Aaron sheepishly takes a sip from his cup. Is he usually like this? Vita sits down in their chair before picking up their book. Not this bad. He's been emotional before, but not like this. Aww. I try to stroke Aaron's back. See? Everything's gonna be fine. Aaron looks at me with doubt. I guess I'm not doing a good job at fooling him. I sip my tea quietly. It doesn't seem as flavorful as it did before. I'll ask one more time. Are you sure you're alright? I scratch my head. As okay it can be, I guess? I don't know what kind of answer you want, but all in all, I think I'm stable. If you say so. Vita takes that as their cue to get back to work. They take their pencil back out and open their book, ready to write. Let's start slow, and from the beginning. What's your name and how old are you? I take another sip of tea before placing it back on the desk. My name is Cyrus Galahad Cantwell. That is such a weird name for a person to have. It's cool as hell sounding, but it does not sound like a real name. I'm not sure what's a good estimate, but I'd say I'm about 27 or 28. After graduating with a doctorate, I was taken into what y'all call Resume to do some work. Vita writes everything almost as fast as I can speak. What do you mean by what we call Resume? A long time ago, the company I worked for was called Current. They were one of the leading medical facilities in the country. They changed their name a while after the world ended. I think that was about 70 years ago. Why did you work for them? At first, I was just volunteering for experiments in the medical field. My friend's dad made a breakthrough in organ transplantation. Vita writes furiously. Which was? My mouth is getting dry from talking so much. I grab the tea again to wet my lips. This is going to be a mouthful. If you were blessed and had a certain biological makeup, they could treat your organs so that they could be universally donated. They would take a good and healthy organ from you and then put in an artificial one. After being in your body long enough and some external treatment, it would adapt and eventually replace the organ that was donated. I lift up my shirt to point to my kidney. If my math's right, I've donated my left kidney 5 times and my right 6. I remember they screwed something up during the left one once. Blood was going everywhere. Pretty sure that guy got fired. By chance, I glanced toward Aaron. He looks horrified. I feel a little embarrassed showing off my body. 1 second, y'all. Water time. Once more. Now you might be asking, why would you remember an accident like that? I'm pretty sure you know the answer to that, don't you, Doctor? Vita finishes writing and stares at me. They give me a look of discomfort. Based on our findings, eventually a carrier develops an immunity to most anesthetics. Right, you are. I tried inducing comas, but they weren't easy to pull people out of. I think I was out for a month when they tried it on me. You were awake through all of it? More or less. Didn't really hurt. It was gross for the first several surgeries. I got over it eventually. Kinda had to, you know. On average, it takes about 100 years to develop such an immunity. There aren't many that are as old as you are. Want to know why? Vita's eyes widen, as if they never really questioned it. I'll take that as a yes. I move to take off my shirt and jacket, tossing them behind me. Aaron has apprehensive written all over his face. I guess this is kind of a bizarre way to look. Regardless, I raise my hand up to my chest where my scarred heart is. A long time ago, right after the fall, I was outfitted with an artificial enhancement to my heart. Dr. Cow, I don't know how to pronounce that, Dr. Q, was the one who designed and made it for me. Vita looks puzzled, indicating for me to explain myself. I guess it has been a long time. Dr. Q is the one who recruited me. He was my friend's father. We knew each other for a long time before the fall. He was there when Resume was founded, a prominent member of the board and a genius. I've never heard of this man. He hasn't in any of the records we've procured. I'm getting to that, don't worry. As I was saying, he's the one who designed my heart, along with the ports on our backs. As far as I know, I was the only one to be outfitted with one at the time. It made me much more compatible in terms of organ donation. Vita goes back to writing their notes, underlining whole sections now and then. It's a big reason why I'm still up and at this point, along with the serum they gave us. Although that alone won't stop the aging process entirely, obviously. I pinch my long white hair between my fingers. Vita takes a moment to collect their thoughts. Indeed. Even with the fluids they give us, a carrier doesn't have that much longer of a lifespan than regular people. In fact, depending on how many times they're operated on, their lives are cut significantly shorter. That's right. That's why I have so many more scars. They operated on me a hell of a lot more times than the average resident. But why? Why weren't there more like me? Simply put, Dr. Qual committed suicide. Aaron and Vita both look shocked. Admittedly, saying that out loud does elicit a tinge of sadness. Take another sip of tea. It's gone cold. He didn't want Darius to make any more people like me, so he destroyed his research notes and then killed himself. At least that's what I was told. I'm not too sure about the details. I look over to the wall. He was a good man. I'm surprised to hear that. Why's that? Isn't he the reason you're still here? I look back towards Vita with a neutral expression. I mean, not really. It was my choice at the end of the day. I shrug. I can only blame myself. You're wrong. Aaron breaks his silence. Don't you dare blame yourself for what they did to you. I blink at him, not really sure what to say. But... all I hear is that they took advantage of someone's goodwill, sent them to hell, and then laughed as they profited off of them. I guess that's not entirely inaccurate. Aaron, seriously, I made peace with my situation a long time ago. Aaron stands, fists balled up. And that's the problem. You have every right to be angrier than anyone else. If it makes you feel any better, I haven't felt anger in a few centuries. He slams his fist into a wall, shaking everything in the room. I guess my attempt at comforting him didn't quite work. He lets out a deep exhale. I have some work to do. I'll see you around. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks or a tip if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!